How about another round for Brewsday Tuesday? Here is DreZ and Huck.
Oh, am I supposed to hit the button or click the top?
Better do something.
I'm so out of practice, man.
Well, that's all right. Nate never got it in 6 months. So.
It is Brewsday Tuesday, brought to you by the Cellar Restaurant and Six Pack Store right there in downtown Blacksburg. It is DreZ back in the seat, the Brewsday Tuesday seat. I mean, Studio B works. You got a couple more microphones in there, but I tell you what, man, there's nothing like doing this show from this studio.
There you go.
There's something about it. It feels right.
Yeah, it's the going cool place.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. There
on.
you go. Shades on.
I figured out how to wear these over the mic. You can't tell on the film, but they're kind of leaning up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Have it from the angle of the camera, they look normal.
You do have it from a good angle that it works.
Yeah. So that's going on. So you gave me this here on them there beers.
Yeah.
I
guess
Cold Fire.
Yeah, Cold Fire is sticking with the Oregon theme. This one's out of Eugene. I'm sipping on Cold Fire's Kite String IPA, also known as an Indian Pale Ale. Yours, I think, is a little bit different.
I was trying to figure out how to say it. It's Kugin Aman Imperial Stout. I was going to look it up.
Pronunciation?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's why I gave you that one, is because I didn't know how to pronounce it.
It might mean something too.
But Imperial Stout. So, and we've talked about Imperial. That means bigger ABV. Is it just a loosely termed Imperial? Because I think I had an Imperial the other day that was just like a 6 something. I'm like, I feel like
9.8. So this is getting there.
I think that would qualify for the Imperial level. What would you say is your bare minimum, pun intended, for an Imperial beer?
9%, and I
Really?
see a lot of them
Even
under 9.
Even like an 8.7, you wouldn't say that's an
Maybe,
Imperial?
but I mean, you got to draw a line somewhere. So, I have some information here. See if there's a pronunciation.
All right, there you go. I guess if I looked it up, I could have actually
Quin Amon, and it's a pastry.
Oh, so it's like sweet?
It's a pastry that looks kind of like, I
Oh.
don't know, it's a Japanese bakery product. It looks kind of like a puff pastry, with fruit in the middle.
Does it taste sweet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Leavened, butter, sugar. Yep. Leavened.
Okay, that makes me happy because.
But this is not that sweet, but it's not dry.
Okay.
So yes, it's sweet.
Because when it comes to Imperial stouts and stuff,
yeah.
Actually, this is a good story on the trip. We found, because I mean, just in general, if it's a high ABV, if it's an Imperial, I'm pretty happy to drink it. And if it's a stout, that's what makes it more doable in my mind, especially if it's like a dessert kind of stout, like if it's a chocolate this,
I'm gonna say
cinnamon
or
whatever.
This is not that sweet.
Not that sweet.
No, it's definitely sweeter than a normal stout.
We found, what was it? I was on that quest for the bottle caps for my map.
Oh yeah,
while we were doing the states, and for I think it was Arkansas, no, Alabama. Trim Tab, is that?
Yeah,
does that ring a bell?
It's Alabama.
Yeah. So we found basically it was tricky to find caps for everybody's cannon and stuff. So we had to get creative at times. So Trim Tab. It was a bottle of theirs, but instead of a normal cap where they had it, their logo on it or something, this was a like wax dipped bottle, one of those fancy bottles. And so then I just kind of cut the label off of cut the logo off the label and stuck it on top of it. And it worked out really well actually. But it was a white chocolate Imperial stout or something, and Kirsty Eve loved it.
There you go.
And so ever since then, she's been seeking out white chocolate beers. We found one other white chocolate beer on our travels. They're pretty few and far between. White chocolate.
I probably had one or two, maybe.
They're like.
But I'm a big
unicorns.
fan of white chocolate.
Yeah, exactly. So
I always get the white chocolate Hershey Kisses at Christmas.
And we were, where were we? We found like birthday cake chocolate kisses. Have you seen those yet?
Maybe.
So it looks like white chocolate, but it's got like confetti, little sparkles.
Oh yeah, I think I have seen those.
They're pretty tasty. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. So Alabama. We were down there for New Year's.
Bama.
Bama, hit a few places, found some good beer. It was interesting. So, where'd you go in Alabama?
In Alabama, that's
Do
a
you
good
remember?
question, dude.
Did you go to Floribama? It's a bar that has whiskey slushies.
Did not. I would have remembered that.
Yeah, they're like what do you call them? The Wendy's Frosty, only full of liquor. They are the most delicious Frosty I've ever had.
Oh yeah.
I even went back. I went there with the girls when we went to New Orleans, and the wife and I were down there, and she's like, I'm like, hey, we got to go somewhere. She goes, where are you going? I was just going. So we go there, and she goes, what? I was like, I want to get something in here. So we go in, and she's like, oh, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. She tastes it. She goes, y'all have one.
Yeah. Ridiculously good.
Ridiculously good. And they're right on the beach. You just walk, you get it, and you walk 100 feet, and you're on the Gulf, and it's beautiful white sand.
So we went, I can't remember. It was near a big city. And what we actually ended up doing in Alabama was we ran
Birmingham.
Oh, yes. It was near Birmingham. Yes. And we ended up we stayed at like I don't know if it wasn't a national park. It might have been like a state park or something, but it was like in the mountains or whatever. We got a campsite there because they were doing a 10-miler run.
Oh, okay.
So we did a 10-mile run on that in there and loaded up on pizza and stuff and then found the trim tab and all that jazz. It was nice. Alabama ain't bad.
I did a 10-mile run. Oh, wait. That was a beer run.
Beer
in my Jeep. But yeah.
To get 10 beers.
Yeah. I got 10 beers, went 10 miles.
Mm.
It's all good. It's bad news. I moved to Pembroke since you left.
No, I know. And
there's a little bit of good beer at Tangent Outfitters, but really to get good beer, I have to drive all the way back to Blacksburg.
Yeah, that's rough.
The other direction's nothing. It's the wasteland of Southwest Virginia, West Virginia, no beer. Somebody should open a beer store up down there.
Yeah, but you're up here enough that you can just stock up when you need to, right?
Yeah,
I mean, you still got work out this way. So, wait, you're retired. You're retired.
I'm kind of retired now, you know. Yeah, most of my work is in Fincastle area now. I've kind of moved my storage facility
you
there.
can still get beer shipped, right? Have they?
That's true. I have been getting some beer shipped.
I'm trying to remember where I was. Because I was just like, oh, like with COVID, you can get, you can, do your beers to go or whatever. And they're like, not anymore. Like it's starting whatever state I was in at the time, they reeled back.
Well, Virginia's still good.
They're still good.
Next I saw with ABC changed the rules a little bit. So it's actually a little easier to be licensed. And I just also saw that the wine shipping thing's been an issue for, I don't know if the beer people or liquor people caused it, but anyways, it's getting easier to ship wine.
I was going to say, I thought that was already kind of a thing.
Well, no, there's some problem about out of state wine coming in or something. I'm still ordering, Buffalo Trace from an undisclosed location. I don't want to ruin it.
Yeah. Was that the same place that we got?
Well, different store,
but
they
do it. They do it.
Same city.
I did not have an issue. We went through Kentucky and stuff, and every time I saw Buffalo Trace, I would like buy a bottle. I'm doing pretty good. I'm sitting all right on Buffalo Trace. I think I got a couple.
I've only got like 2 shots left in my last bottle, but it's time to reorder. But I did for my birthday, which you missed. I ordered.
Happy belated.
Thank you. Ordered a bunch of barley wines, and I still have 2 in the fridge. I did drink one Saturday night just because I was already at a little buzz and I didn't want to drink liquor, so I said, I'll drink the equivalent of liquor in beer.
Just in beer form.
And I had a whole 6-pack of that one. I can't remember where it's from. It was too sweet. It was under attenuated. But I got 2 with the fancy wired cap bottles, corked, that I don't know. I'm saving them for a special occasion like tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow's a good
special occasion. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we went to 24 different states, 24 different national parks, not all in the states, but
go to Zion.
14,000 miles we put on the RV.
I only did 6. Well, I didn't go for 6 months.
Yeah, we were out. We were going, man. We were going, and that's just on the RV. We put another. I guess I should have looked at the odometer and stuff. I guarantee we put another few thousand on the CRV that we towed behind it too, man. We covered some area, and then we were in Scotland for a month, and did pretty much the whole.
Did you go to Zion National Park?
Did.
So I was thinking you were talking about your phone getting wet. That's a good place to get your phone wet.
Why is that? But then you lose your pictures.
But if you go up the falls, I'm just saying. If you walk up the creek, I don't know if you did that.
It's funny you mentioned Zion. That might have been my favorite. It was so beautiful.
It was beautiful.
It's
gorgeous.
Go to Zion, Big Bend was up there. Yosemite's
my favorite.
Yosemite was pretty
I remember
fantastic.
the name. And I was there in the winter, so that made it even better.
Yeah.
In my opinion, because you had the snow. Well, we screwed up our reservation and didn't have a reservation, and the place was packed. So we roll in there, and it was like the lady at the desk was so nice. And we got there at 2:30 and didn't check in because there's a line. So we went for a hike and came back at 4:30. I'm like, hey, where's my room? And she's like, it was last weekend.
Oh no.
Oh no. And she goes, yeah. She goes, there's a place 60 miles out. I'm like, no. I said, what's the other option? And this is a cheap hotel there. They have one that's cheap, and then they have the one that's like the homestead.
Yeah.
So she goes, I have a room. Let me call them at the homestead one. And I'm like, okay. So she calls them, talks to them a minute. She comes back and she's like, they have a room. And I'm like, how much is it? And I've already got $150 I've lost. And she goes, $350. She goes, but they said, understand the situation, they'll let you have it for $275. And I said, perfect, I'll take it.
That's probably doable. So was that fancy one that The Shining was based off of?
No. That's at Colorado. This is the one. The Shining one's in
the actual but the interior was based off the one
I think they
in
did do
Yosemite.
that. Yeah, I think they did. Anyway, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
So we go
gorgeous.
in, and I'm like, I'm a little upset, but go up there. The parking's good. We get a cart. We go and check in, and we go upstairs, and we go in the room, and it's a super nice room. It's a little small on the corner.
Yeah, but it's old. Like
Right.
It's built in the forever
So
ago.
I called down the desk. I said, where's some ice? She goes, it's by the elevator. I said, I want to see the ice machine. She goes, no, there's a crate. So you go back there, and there's this like captain's chest, and you open it up, and it's
Old
ice,
school.
right?
Yeah.
With
An ice chest.
Yeah, an ice chest. So you get the ice, and I get a drink, and I lay down on the bed, and I go, this is crazy. We had to spend, and I look up, and there's the falls, the Bridal Falls. You can see it from the bed out the window.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's worth every penny.
Every penny.
Yeah.
And then in the morning when we woke up, it was frozen.
Mm.
So the night before, we watched the sunset, and it looks like fire running down the mountain. And then in the morning, it's frozen. And by the time we checked out, it was melting again. It's really cool.
And I don't think it was the Bridal Falls. I think it's actually Yosemite is like the longest or the tallest waterfall in North America, not in like the world or whatever, but I think it's the longest.
Where? Yosemite?
In Yosemite.
Yeah, that's the one we could see.
No, well, there was Bridal Falls, then there's Yosemite Falls.
Maybe it's Yosemite Falls.
So Bridal Falls is awesome too. Like it's almost just as big, and like
this was like really tall. It's right behind the hotel.
Was it kind of like 2, or was it 1?
No, you're right. It's Bridal Falls because we hiked to it too.
Yeah,
but you could see it from the hotel.
Yeah,
the other one was further up the gorge.
Mm-hmm.
We hiked up to that too, I think.
Yeah, there's so many great hikes.
So pretty.
Yeah, dude, it's just.
But we couldn't see the big trees when we were there because they just had the forest fire. They hadn't finished cleaning the road up.
So what year was this?
3 or 4 years ago.
Okay.
The year I went to get Pliny the Younger.
Pliny the Younger. That's a whole nother story. Man, I got so many stories. It's just crazy. I'm all over the map because I might throw this one out there. No, I'll save it.
So did you go to? I didn't spend a lot of time in Idaho. Did you go to Idaho?
I did go to Idaho. I have a beer from Idaho.
Okay.
That we can drink. And
I went to Idaho, but just kind of the edge.
Idaho. See, this is the thing.
Did you go to Reno?
I wrote a travel journal.
Yeah.
It was 2 books because it was too much. And I got to find where the first one is. I think it's actually still in the RV, which is in the shop right now. So I have my second half one. So I might need to do it backwards so I can look because we just did so much, man. I can't even remember where we went. Well, that's another story. How much? We got time. So about 2 or 3 weeks left in our trip. The thing that is so near and dear that you just learned how valuable they are.
Those jacks.
The auto levelers.
Yeah.
Gave.
Yeah.
And so the last couple of weeks we had to do it the old fashioned way with the blocks, but so that's getting looked at. Oh, and
so mine went, and I read on the internet. I went and I sprayed silicone spray all over them, and I lifted them up and down 5 times, and waited a couple of days, did it again, and they never leaked again.
Oh no, it's not leaking.
Oh, they just won't work.
It wouldn't come up. One of the jacks wouldn't retract.
Oh,
yeah, that kind of problem.
Oh,
and I was able to manually retract it so we could get around, but it just was indicating that it was still down. And Long story short, I did get a guy coming out to us when we were in, I think it was in Lincoln, Nebraska. Like a guy came out to it, and basically he actually got it going by like loosening a thing and holding it this way. And long story short, he was just like, you got like a wire or something that's loose or finicky in that motor. So you either need to open that up and figure it out yourself or get a new motor. And
Just
so
for the one.
I mean,
I thought mine's hydraulic.
Yeah.
So it's got 4 lines. And then some of them have, anyway, we're getting too technical for the average person. But yeah, that's
either way, it's
that's
in
the
the
worst
shop
case scenario. But I was at Floyd Fest and they gave me a site that was not even, which is fine. I mean, they were good to me. But I was like, I went home and I filled up the back of the truck with 2x12s. And I had like 10 of them. And me and Brad built a little tower and drove up on it. And the thing was just level.
Good to go.
Good to go. We didn't even use the jacks. I didn't even bother with them.
That's the old fashioned way.
You can do it. The strongest thing you can get.
Yeah. And I mean, there were times where, you'd walk around and you'd hear like a little ding, and you feel.
Well, mine do that anyway.
Every now and then and stuff. But for the most part, man, it did great. I mean, we rode that thing hard, dude. I mean, and I don't know how yours does on mileage. Have you figured that out?
Oh, yeah,
that thing? Like towing the rig too?
It's about the same with mine.
Really?
It's around 7 to 7.5.
Yeah, it's I don't have much of a gauge.
Who knows?
I don't have much of a gauge because we were towing the whole time. But yeah, the first time we did the math on our mileage, 5.8.
Yeah, 5.6.
But then it was like between 6 and 7.
6 and 7.
That's great.
Yeah,
6 and 7. Which, by the way, by the time we got to California, gas was over $4 a gallon.
Oh, I know.
So we were paying like damn near $1 a mile.
Well, I did the math. We were going to go to Alaska until Canada got all weird and doesn't like us anymore.
Yeah, we wanted to do that too.
Anyway, we're going to do it eventually, I guess. But we want to drive to Alaska. And it may be my next RV, but in any case, we're going to drive to Alaska. But I did the math, and at last year's prices, when there was someone else who was president and gas was a lot cheaper, it would be $4,000. I guess it'd be about $6,000 now. So yeah, $4,000 just in gasoline. That's nothing else.
When we started our trip on January 4th, gas was, I think like $1.70. $1.75.
And if you use that app, even cheaper.
Yeah. By the time we got to California, it was more than double that.
Yeah.
And we were feeling it. But yeah, thankfully that were you using that?
Yeah.
Get Upside.
Yeah, get money.
Yeah. That I think we got at least 300 or so bucks back with Get Upside.
Yeah.
So
might as well.
If you want to use this app, let me know first. Let me know first, and I'll send you a code.
I was going to say, did you change your oil a couple times on the road?
We did.
Yeah, I
got an oil. I changed the oil before we set out, and then we did do it again. We might have.
Probably should have done twice.
No, we did it. We did it before we left. Did it on the road, and then did it immediately. Like that's also what it's in the shop for.
Were you using regular or synthetic? I don't want to start that whole argument.
Should have been. I think it's synthetic.
Yeah, I'm going to change mine to that. I changed the generator. It was hardly running, and now it's running great.
Yeah, I think synthetic's the way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was quite the ordeal. And I'm sure, like I said, I think I got 4 or 5 shows worth of booze to that we can talk about this. And once I get my journals, then I can really delve into this beer, this brewery, and all that sort of jazz.
When you rented one, you were hesitant to use the generator. Did you use the generator in yours?
Not that much, man.
I use mine all the time.
We don't.
I even bought a backup generator.
I bet I could look at it.
Yeah, it has hours.
I bet we probably maybe put 15 hours on it.
Right. Well, mine is a 20
over 6 months.
Yeah, it's 2005 and it has like 300 hours on it. And I was all like, "Oh, it's probably worn out." And I was like, "No way! Things can go to 30,000 hours." And so I went.
Mine has less. Yeah, well, mine's not that old though.
Yeah, but I replaced the bottom of the carburetor, and it's been running good ever since. And I run it 24/7 if I don't have power.
Yeah. Well,
my wife's more particular than your wife.
Yeah, my wife is non-existent. So
I mean, you're whatever.
My BB. We could talk RVs all day, but let's talk beer. That's what this show is really about. And our cold fire is going down quite easy. At least mine is the Kite String IPA.
I've emptied mine.
Nice and crisp. This is a good drinking beer, man. And I think I needed it today. It's been a long day.
It took you a while to get back in the saddle.
Yeah, it really has.
Sorry,
really
I had
has.
to watch that.
Yeah. If you guys only could know the behind the scenes. But I am glad to be back, and I'm glad to be drinking beer on the air because that's what this show at least is all about. Cold fire, Kite String, tasting damn good. I think it might be actually about adequate from last one. I'd say this is probably about a 4.
All right. Well, I'm drinking the Cold Fire, Oregon, Virginia, Conan Amman Imperial Stout, apparently inspired by a pastry. Yeah, it says that. I didn't read that.
Didn't read that part
but it says
before.
pastry inspired. And I'm going to say, in that case, I'm probably not going to have the pastry. Not that it's a bad beer, but I mean,
well, pastry
when you
might
say
be better.
pastry,
It might be better than the beer.
I'm saying sweetness. So
I would think so. I would have hoped that.
Yeah,
that's
I'm
probably
not
why
really-
I bought that one.
It's not. It's thin. It's a little not tart, but I would in no way would I say this beer is sweet. 3.75.
Oh man, that's the same. Here's the thing, because I mean, maybe not every beer, but when I was looking for beers, particularly for the show, if it didn't have a good score, I'm not going to get it. So
Right.
I want to say, at least for this batch, they should have all been at least a 4 on Untapped.
Well,
so that's a bit surprising.
I'm disappointed now that I found out it was a pastry.
Yeah.
Had I not known that, I might.
If you hadn't read the fine print,
right?
and
But
looked up-
it's not pastryish to me at all. If that's a word.
Interesting.
It is
Okay.
now.
Well, so there you go. Once again, DreZ Drinks is my handle on Untapped. Huck's Beer Buzz is his if you want to friend us on there. And we are doing we're still doing the video, although I almost don't want to anymore after all the issues we've been having. But nonetheless, you can, of course, watch on the Facebook and all that stuff, podcasting it and all that jam.
All the
Tuesday.
problems are caused by Windows 10.
Windows 10 has been
We're hating
a
on it.
mofo. And I'm sure it's been out for forever, but we just got
Just getting around to it over here.
Yeah, it's-
Out here in the
Ain't
Southwest
broke, don't
Virginia.
fix it. And by the way, hucksbeerbuzz.com. Huck's Beer Buzz is everywhere.
Waxless.com's
it's
been
done?
hacked. So just come
Is
see
it
me on
done?
Facebook and Twitter and Instagram.
See, this is what happens when I'm gone for
Those
7
Russians.
months. I don't even know how to plug you
They
anymore.
killed my website.
Did they?
Yeah,
Hucksbeerbuzz.com is
it's
no
gone.
more.
It's defunct.
Well, how on earth can people find you then?
They can
now?
find me on all the social media.
That's all you
at
need now.
Huck's Beer Buzz.
Social media. There you go.
Just search it up. I Instagram, not as much. I Facebook a lot. I post something funny on Huck's Beer Buzz every day.
420.
Sometimes it might make you mad, but hey, that's how life is.
Hey, if you're PC, you're probably not
420,
listening. You're
yeah.
probably not listening.
Right, you know, listen to us.
So, all right. Well, Huck, I'm glad to see you back, and I hope you enjoy the next few weeks of those beers because you were carrying the show for so long. I figured the least I could do with
Sure.
my RV travels, I finally was able to bring back some beer from far, and I hope it lives up to it. So, the next few weeks,
We'll see.
we'll see. We'll judge.
We'll judge you harshly.
We will be the judge. Brewsday Tuesday, a wrap. We'll be back with the tunes right here on 105.3 The Bear. Stick around.